For the first time, we had the Austrian Freedom Party, which, remember, was established by former SS officers, be the largest party in the Austrian lower house, followed by the People's Party, which is broadly the equivalent of, but a conservative, mainstream bourgeois party, followed way behind by the party that used to dominate Austria, at least when I was young, the Social Democratic Party, with the Greens having been halved down to 8%. The talk is of a potential People's Party, Freedom Party government, with the Freedom Party being the senior partner. Now, that would be a break. Not that the Freedom Party hasn't been in government before, but to be the senior partner would be a first. And of course, what you've got on the left, predictably, the Freedom Party being a Nazi party. Well, of course, Austria has a Nazi history. Not only did Hitler come from Austria, but I think in terms of popular support, the Nazi Party had more popular support in Austria than it actually did in Germany. The point that I'm making is that I think this is silly politics. I know people who left Britain because of Brexit, because they thought, that bourgeois civilization was just about to come to an end. Maybe it has. We've got Keir Starmer. I wouldn't be packing my bags if I was an Austrian today. What you've got is a far-right party, an anti-migrant party, a party, full of bile, calling for re-immigration, go back home, that sort of rhetoric, anti-EU rhetoric. Yes, yes, yes. How much they would able to be put that into practice, that's another question. It should also be pointed out, of course, that Austria, to the extent that it's had economic growth over the last, 15, 20 years, it's almost entirely relied on migrants coming in, much as the case with most of the rest of Western Europe and the United States, for that matter. Either way, I just simply say this, that I find the left very strange when they look at Meloni and the Meloni government to say today that what we have in Italy is fascism, that what we have potentially today is an incoming Nazi regime in Vienna. When I look at Sri Lanka, but when we look at the election of a Marxist president, I would say, one, I would say, was he ever a Marxist in my terms? No. Was he an official communist? Yes, clearly, of one sort or another. The origins of the JVP are in the Moscow, China. They thought they were all revisionist history. But the point would be that what this guy says, I'm going to run Sri Lanka on the basis of negotiating with the IMF, recognizing the role of big business. I'm just going to be not corrupt. I cannot see why the left cannot recognize ex-communists. Anyone who looks at the old official Communist Party of Italy, I would say, the Euro-communists, are they really? Looking at the Democrat Party today in Italy, would you say they're still communists because this is where their origins lie? I think this is absurd. So yes, politics are moving to the right in Europe. There's no doubt about that. That's part of a global trend. I don't have any doubt about that either. There are exceptions, like, for example, in Latin America, the pink tide. There are exceptions, such as Sri Lanka. But in reality, the left itself is being dragged to the right. So look at Lula today in Brazil. What sort of a threat to capitalism does he represent? I would urge comrades that want to spread panic to avoid that. The danger with it is that at some point there might be a fascist danger. And you turn around and say, oh, there's a fascist danger. Yeah, but we thought we already had fascism. We already thought we've got a fascist government. So I'm reminded in that sense of the Turkish left, which some of it says that there's been fascism in Turkey ever since the republic was founded by Ataturk back in 1921, they'll just turn around to you and say, well, we've always had fascism. You know, the fascism of Erdogan or the fascism of the People's Republican Party, it's all fascism. I think that's all nonsense. And we need to use these terms. I think if they're going to have any worth, any value of actually analyzing politics and the movement of politics, we need to use these words carefully, not just as an insult word.